The audience erupted into applause as Morris Day walked onto Jennifer Hudson's daytime show with his signature confidence, dressed in a sharp-tailored suit, carrying the effortless charm that had made him a music legend. He waved to the crowd before taking his seat. Jennifer welcomed him warmly, smiling as they exchanged friendly greetings. The atmosphere felt relaxed, and everyone expected a nostalgic conversation about music, unforgettable performances, and the legacy he had built over decades. Jennifer began by asking about his recent projects, and Morris answered with humor, making the audience laugh several times. He shared stories from his touring days, spoke about reconnecting with longtime fans, and reflected on how music had changed over the years. The conversation flowed naturally, and it looked like the interview would become another memorable celebrity appearance. As the discussion continued, Jennifer introduced the topic of younger artists, who often cited Morris as an inspiration. She asked whether he believed today's performers respected the legends who came before them. Morris paused for a moment before answering thoughtfully. He explained that talent alone wasn't enough, and that true. Artists also needed discipline, humility, and respect for those who paved the way. The audience applauded his comments. Jennifer nodded but decided to challenge his perspective. She mentioned that every generation faced criticism from the one before it and suggested that perhaps modern musicians were simply expressing themselves differently. Morris smiled politely but replied that innovation should never come at the expense of musicianship. His answer drew another round of applause from many audience members. Sensing the energy in the room shifting, Jennifer presented a short video montage featuring several young artists discussing how social media had helped launch their careers. When the clip ended, she asked Morris whether online popularity had become just as important as musical ability. Morris leaned back in his chair and laughed softly. He admitted that social media could open doors, but he insisted that viral fame could disappear overnight. According to him, a true career was built on years of hard work, live performances, and earning respect from audiences rather than chasing internet trends. Jennifer responded by saying that many talented artists today use digital platforms because the music industry had changed. She suggested that success no longer followed the same path it did decades ago. Morris agreed that technology had transformed the business, but argued that shortcuts often created temporary stars instead of lasting legends. The audience became divided. Some clapped enthusiastically for Morris, while others cheered Jennifer's viewpoint. The friendly conversation slowly turned into a passionate debate, though both remained respectful. Cameras captured every reaction, making the atmosphere noticeably more intense. Jennifer then surprised Morris with a question that hadn't appeared in the show's earlier briefing. She asked whether he believed certain legendary artists sometimes refused to adapt because they feared becoming irrelevant. The audience suddenly fell silent. Morris looked directly at Jennifer, clearly caught off guard. After a brief pause, he answered calmly that protecting artistic standards should never be confused with resisting change. He explained that experience deserved respect and that wisdom came from surviving decades in an industry known for constant change. Jennifer pressed further, asking whether refusing to embrace newer styles risked disconnecting from younger audiences. Morris replied that artists should evolve naturally, not simply follow trends to remain popular. He emphasized that authenticity mattered, far more than chasing whatever happened to be fashionable. The discussion grew increasingly serious. Jennifer challenged several of Morris's opinions with follow-up questions, encouraging a lively exchange. Morris remained composed, but viewers could sense growing frustration in his voice as he repeatedly clarified that he wasn't criticizing young musicians themselves, only the industry's obsession with instant fame. One audience member applauded loudly after Jennifer argued that every generation deserved the chance to redefine success. Another group responded with cheers for Morris when he insisted that timeless music required patience, craftsmanship, and dedication. The studio buzzed with competing opinions. Jennifer then introduced another unexpected topic by asking whether Morris believed award shows still recognized genuine talent. Morris sighed before answering. He explained that awards could be meaningful but shouldn't determine an artist's worth. he believed many incredible performers never received major trophies, yet still changed people's lives through music. Jennifer respectfully disagreed, saying awards could inspire future generations and introduce audiences to deserving artists. Morris acknowledged that point, but maintained that lasting impact mattered more than industry recognition. As the debate continued, Jennifer quoted one of Morris's older interviews where he had criticized aspects of the entertainment business. She asked whether he regretted making those comments. Morris appeared surprised that the interview had been brought up. He explained that his opinions had always been honest and that he preferred speaking openly rather than offering carefully rehearsed answers. Jennifer noted that some people had interpreted those remarks as dismissive toward younger performers. For the first time during the interview, Morris's smile disappeared completely. He calmly clarified that his comments had been directed at industry practices, not individual artists. He added that taking statements out of context often created misunderstandings. Jennifer attempted to move the conversation forward, but another follow-up question revisited the same controversy. Morris politely interrupted, saying he felt his explanation had already been clear. The audience grew unusually quiet. After a long pause, Morris thanked Jennifer for inviting him, but explained that he had hoped the interview would celebrate music instead of repeatedly focusing on old controversies. Jennifer responded that difficult conversations often revealed important truths and gave audiences a chance to hear different perspectives. Morris stood from his chair. He smiled respectfully toward Jennifer, shook her hand, and thanked the audience for their support. He explained that he preferred ending the interview on a positive note rather than continuing a discussion that no longer reflected the purpose he had expected. The audience gasped as Morris slowly walked toward the stage exit. Some people applauded his decision, while others remained stunned by the unexpected ending. Jennifer stayed composed, wishing him well and thanking him again for appearing on the show. As Morris disappeared backstage, the studio remained unusually quiet for several seconds before Jennifer addressed the audience. She acknowledged that passionate conversations could sometimes become emotional because music meant so much to the people who created it. She expressed respect for Morris's remarkable career and emphasized that differing opinions did not erase decades of artistic achievement. The episode immediately became one of the most talked about television moments of the week. Viewers flooded social media with clips from the interview, debating who had made the stronger arguments. Some praised Jennifer for asking challenging questions, believing journalists should never avoid uncomfortable topics. Others supported Morris, arguing that legendary artists deserved interviews focused on their accomplishments, rather than revisiting old debates. Days later, both Morris and Jennifer released brief public statements thanking fans for their support. Neither criticized the other personally. Instead, both emphasized the importance of respectful dialogue and celebrating music despite differing opinions. The unexpected exchange became a reminder that even accomplished entertainers could passionately disagree while remaining professional. Long after the camera stopped rolling, fans continued discussing the interview, not because of hostility, but because it sparked meaningful conversations about artistic legacy, changing industries, and the balance between honoring the past while embracing the future.